thought that I might just go and show off my stereo system as it's currently set up. This isn't my normal stereo setup. I actually have a few different ones, but this is just how it is configured at the moment in a rush, sort of bits cobbled together. If you come in and zoom in on this, so everything's held together by this Pioneer stereo amp. It's a late 80s unit. I think it's late 80s sometime. Works quite well. Came out of Hard Rubbish somewhere, I think. I'm not sure what the power output is. Probably around, I don't know, 50 watts, 20 watts, something like that. But it works fairly well. I've had a couple of other stereo amps wired into this configuration. One's an early 70s Sony amp. I think it's a TA70 or something. Can't remember the exact model number, but that's a small 15 watt wood grain 70s unit, which is quite nice. It's not wired in at the moment. It developed a bit of noise. It's currently plugged in into another setup in the bedroom, which I might get to in another video. It developed a lot of noise for some reason, and it's remaining to be fixed. Previously, I've had a Toshiba Aurex amp receiver unit. That worked very well until the right channels started to drop off in power output. Again, needs to be fixed. But this is the current one, this Pioneer. Under that, we have a Sherwood AM/FM stereo tuner. Now, I haven't actually checked the AM performance of this compared to the AWA AM3 that I showed off in a previous video. I don't think that it is as good. The problem with the AM, I don't think that it's actually patched in here. Let's just see if it is. Oh, it is. But one of the issues with AM reception on here is that it's incredibly noisy. I suspect that's just because it's in a bad spot. So that's 774 Radio Melbourne 3LO. And you can hear it's a fairly strong station, but there's just a huge amount of noise behind it. I don't know what's causing that. FM reception's fairly good. None of my presets have kept, so I might just tune around until we hear something I can show it off. 90.7 will do. Sin FM. Now, it's a bit hard to tell. There is a bit of distortion behind that. It doesn't sound as good as it could, but oh well. If I go back to AM for a second, I'll just tune to the nearest, strongest signal 3 MP, which is only about maybe a few kilometres from here. Stronger than 3LO, but still sounds awful, so that's another problem with this receiver. I should add, this is in the same spot where I tested the AM3, and reception's far inferior on this tuner, so I don't know quite what the problem is. Maybe I just need a better antenna. Well, I'll switch that off for now. Beneath this is a silver brand CD player, probably early 90s vintage. This again came out of Hard Waste, and it works pretty well. I've had this since I was probably about 13 or 14 years old. And it's never been my favourite CD player. My favourite CD player has been a Sony CDP-7F, which again is in the bedroom setup. But this one works really well. It's just a solid performer. I can just play this Underground Lovers track. Hopefully it won't ping me for copyright or something on a video. So I'll just turn that down. Now that's pretty much all the main stereo system that's set up at the moment. At the bottom here we've got this Sharp VHS unit, which was another roadside find. You can see a pattern here. That works as well. I just had it wired up to this Kogan TV just to watch some old VHS cassettes. I haven't had it plugged in for a while. Something that amazed me with this VCR is actually how good the stereo sounds on VHS. Like, this is a 6-head HiFi unit. I have a Midnight Oil live concert tape. The video quality is not particularly good, but the sound, it's almost CD quality. It's really impressive. Now the other few things here that aren't really patched in, There's a turntable on this side, I don't know if we can have a look at that, which is a Philips unit. Philips, I can't remember what the model number is, should say HS 5010Q, I think. Now, it wasn't designed or made by Philips originally, it's a rebadged unit, I can't remember the original company. It's a direct drive turntable and it works really well, aside from the fact that once you get to the inner ring, inner groove of your record, depending on how far off the centre it is, it'll automatically engage the auto return. I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. That was about $15 from a second-hand shop, and it works pretty well aside from that main fault. It's got an Audio-Technica cartridge, the stylus needs replacing. For some reason the styli on this particular unit are really expensive on that particular cartridge compared to some of the other Audio-Technica cartridges. I can't remember the exact model of cartridge, but yeah, it does tend to work. Now the standout feature, before I get to that, this is just a satellite receiver, a Humax IR5410Z. Satellite receiver that I was planning to play around with once I get a proper dish. CD player's not immune to skip. Did it come back from that? I don't think it did. I'll have to go without the underground lovers. Anyway, this is just a standard definition satellite set-top box that I got to play around with once I get a proper dish installed. We actually have a dish up on the roof, but it's wired into a receiver for Canal Sat French TV. I can't remember what satellite that's tuned to. I don't personally use that, but it does get used. Now the standout feature that I was talking about of this system is the speakers. Now these speakers aren't actually mine, they belong to a friend of mine, Steve, who you may hear on the airwaves if you listen to the 160 meter band from time to time. So I'm holding onto these speakers for him at the moment. Now the cabinets were supposedly, the story behind these is that, I haven't got this completely certain, but I think that they were built for use in ABC studios as broadcast monitors. The original speakers that were inside them were a pair of Wharfdale drivers. I can't remember what the type of what the model number of those was. You see, I've got a great memory for these things. But Steve has also given me a pair of Goodman's Axiom 150, I think, drivers, which are currently installed. They've got these little whizzer cones on the front. They're, I think you'd call them full range drivers, 12-inch, I think. And this is a ported cabinet as well, as you can see from this little port at the bottom. They just sound fantastic. I mean, they're not what you might call super high definition hi-fi, but they definitely sound very nice. Yeah, so they've got the Axiom drivers mounted in. Maybe I'll at some point do a feature on them all on their own, because they're kind of deserving of them. They're very nice speakers, sort of early 50s British made drivers. But yeah, that's the setup as it is now, just the quick and dirty setup with no particular thought paid to configuration or placement. It's just for putting on some music when I want to listen to some music. I might do a more detailed rundown on the other systems next time.